Hi, welcome to the new video. Here I'm gonna review a young, interesting, niche fragrance brand, HIMA JOMO. There are 7 fragrances in this house in 2 collections. Treasures collection, which I really love, and Seasons, which is 50-50 for me. Some are very good, the other scents didn't work for me. I bought their discovery sets, so let's begin with unboxing and a few general words about the brand. HIMA JOMO is paying homage to the diverse natural beauty of the Himalayan landscape and the heritage of French perfumery craftsmanship. I like how they call it an olfactory dialogue between the primitive and modernity. That's what I found in this brand: skillfully created compositions presenting a wild olfactory richness of Himalayan land. This concept emerged during pandemic, exactly when perfumery as a hobby came to my life. Very attractive bottles, nice presentation, and beautiful visual content. So let's dive into Treasures collection. I really love the blotting papers, and for the video I'm gonna use them to spray my perfumes. First fragrance we're gonna talk about is Pashm. First treasure is called Pashm. That's a really nice thing. It's like a warm embrace. The name Pashm comes from the word pashmina, the type of cashmere wool, soft, sensual, bringing the sense of comfort. The scent brings to my mind the sensation of sitting on a terrace in a cold September, wrapped in an old cashmere blanket and sipping on the dark black tea. The texture in this fragrance is like wool. There are some smoky nuances, touch of various spicy notes, and the sensation of cold, of freshness that comes from the woody note of juniper. There is also sandalwood, this clear feeling of being comforted by a clove from the cold autumn air. This is the sensation I discovered in this fragrance, and I find it charming. Not only it is evoking and curious, but it is also a pretty good fragrance. It is still a practical perfumery, not just an art in a bottle, but something I would wear and enjoy. The notes here: juniper, saffron, cinnamon, white tea, cashmere wood, orris, sandalwood, ambergris, amberette seed. No surprise that for creating this feeling of cashmere wool, the perfumers used the synthetic note of cashmere. Along my fragrance journey, I have met quite a lot of fragrances with that note, and usually they tend to be more soft, creamy, quite often feminine, matched with some floral notes, but that one is very different. This fragrance takes cashmere to a different direction. It is more dry, it is not sweet, it's not animalic at all, it is not a skin wrapped in wool. Instead, it is the woolen blanket that carries the scent of its owner's skin, of his routine. It is very even unisex fragrance. And this note of spicy tea with cinnamon, that's so expressive in here, but it doesn't take the fragrance to the gourmand direction. I absolutely love it. I love this dryness, this tea accord, cashmere wool, tea, smoky nuances, woody facets, overall cold sensation, and the fuzzy texture. There is so much in this scent, and I think it is one of the finest creations from the house. Good reference for cashmere, and truly a beautiful woody scent without sweetness. Big like, one of my favorites from the house. Imagine we are wrapped in a comforting pashmina wool. We need a cup of tea, chai. We can technically classify it as a tea fragrance, but not a usual one. This is the osmanthus tea. Usually it's a black tea with osmanthus flowers. It's very good. For me, this truly smells like intense, deep, dark osmanthus tea with woody nuances, with spices, and a little delicate lactonic feel in a dry down. What I discover in the opening is the note of strongly infused black tea. The floral note of osmanthus brings some apricot touches, plus I get the note of lavender. It is not mentioned among the notes, but I feel like I get some lavender. this bright aromatic quality. The official notes: bergamot, cardamom, violet leaf, mimosa, osmanthus, ylang-ylang, Darjeeling tea, black tea, mate, and sandalwood. I see. Sandalwood explains this creaminess, these lactonic nuances that I imagine in a dry down. Yeah, that works. I can't say I get a ton of mimosa and ylang-ylang in this fragrance. For me, this floral component of the scent is better described as the darker shades of violet and the smoky osmanthus. And this delicious smokiness, it doesn't smell like burnt wood. It really smells like a smoky tea experience. Overall, I cannot call it a complex, multi-layered fragrance. For me, it's quite simple, quite clear, but very good quality, very enjoyable. And the more I live with this fragrance, the more I like it, the more I want to wear it. The image I draw in my mind is the lacquerware cup filled with Darjeeling tea that gently warms your hands, and the steam rising from the surface. Simple but very evoking picture, a reference to an ordinary but at the same time very special moment of the day, the hot cup of tea. If we talk about the effect that this fragrance has on my mood, it brings me a nice feeling of solitude, quietness. It feels like the last hours of the day. It's very relaxing. It's turning me towards my own thoughts. It is not as comforting as Pashm fragrance. It's more like isolating, sedative. A quick sum up: a nice tea floral scent infused with osmanthus note that I find very wearable and beautiful in its natural simplicity. My left ear is blocked. I can barely hear myself, but I hope it is not affecting my speech too much. Okay. Last scent in the collection is Loon. Another treasure of Himalayan land is pink salt. Among those 3 fragrances, this one is the most unique for me. I have never experienced such a scent profile. It has a note of snow. We will get to it in a moment. Most unique but also most questionable fragrance. I honestly I'm not sure if I would like to wear such scent. It is too sharp, too cold, too aromatic even for my liking. And it's pretty heavy on the rose. The notes here: cypress, edelweiss, snow accord, rose, jasmine, frankincense, vetiver, cedarwood, pink salt accord. Rose is prominent here, aromatic notes, woody notes like a stiff wood. If we can try to match the texture with this fragrance, it would be like very hard, stone-like wood, like really hard. The scent is fresh, a bit chilling even. Not sweet, not oriental, somewhat foresty, but with the fatty rose. I see some funny duality in this fragrance. When I think about the note of rose, I imagine something warm, oily, but when I'm trying to grab on these aromatic qualities, it gives me the sensation of snow, of cold, of pines under the snow. So yeah, quite an interesting fragrance that I want to look deeper into, I want to contemplate. But at the same time, when I was wearing Loon, it didn't feel very good on me, just didn't fit right, didn't work for me. I need some more time with it. I feel like my opinion is not ready for this fragrance. There is something interesting in it, but out of my comfort zone. From this trio from Treasures collection, my favorite is Pashm. I like the cashmeran note in here. It's so dreamy, so unusual. I get the mood of it, I feel it. And I also like Tchai, very good tea fragrance. Let's move on to the Seasons collection. There are 4 fragrances. Very nice presentation, beautiful box, 4 fragrances, and I think I'm gonna use those blotting papers. Let's begin with spring. It took me some time to form my opinion about this fragrance because in the beginning I absolutely didn't like it at all, but then I found something in it. I will start with my own perception of this fragrance. It is very green, very bitter, even a bit medicinal. I get this feeling of ointment with crushed herbs and orange peel. I got some oiliness and very, very herbaceous odor from this fragrance. It's not bad, it's fun even, but I don't feel like wearing it on a daily basis. I like it on my wrist. I find it curious. I want to smell it, to explore it, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone because of such heavy herbaceous quality, this greenness. What is the idea behind this fragrance? Fresh and vital scent in the damp mist of the morning. I agree. Arrival of spring, where the fresh scent of greenery and ripeness of peach blossom elicit a sense of renewal. True, very true. I have to listen very hard to hear the voice of peach blossom in here. There's a fruity nuance, but it is so shy. This fruitiness is so small, sitting next to a huge note of galbanum. And here are the notes: galbanum, tarragon, lentisk, hedicium, peach blossom, geranium leaf, tuberose, iris, vetiver, papyrus, moss, yatamansi, something exotic. I can imagine that some of us perfume lovers can really enjoy this scent. It has its own charm, and I think that it represents the idea of spring awakening very well. When I think about spring, floral notes, floral scents come to my mind first of all, but this green bitterness, it's even better reference because spring is truly green, and if you live very northern, you barely see any flowers in spring. Spring is green, bitter, dirty. Also, what this scent resembles are the young dandelions, not the fluffy ones, but the young ones, yellow with green leaves. It smells like those cut dandelions, fresh, very fresh. Conclusions. It is balanced, interesting, not very wearable for me, out of my comfort zone, bitter, awakening, stimulating fragrance. After spring comes summer. I really enjoyed wearing it. It's one of the best from the Seasons collection. I don't fully get the reference of summer, maybe late summer, like early autumn. It's very dark scent of honey, resinous, ambery, incensey, even a little bit nutty. Speaking about the seasons, I imagine it as late summer, nearly autumn, but the scent, so good. I like how it smells so deep, ambery, honey, without sticky sweetness. It's just so natural, and the smoky nuances here. I imagine pastoral landscapes, harvesting honey, bonfires making the air heavy. It's the whole vibe. Looking at the notes, we will find Timur, pepper, petitgrain, honey, osmanthus, benjoin, amyris, fir balsam, sandalwood, patchouli, labdanum. Really, you will not find gourmand or other type of commercial scents in this house. It brings us natural, beautiful aromatic fragrances, a good variety of woody, herbal, untypical floral fragrances. It is not commercial. I enjoy this ambery warmth, bittersweet honey emphasized with spices. Imagine honey and pepper together. That's a very warming, hot combination even. This nice bitterness is prominent only in the opening. Then the scent evolves a lot. When those volatile notes are gone, the scent stays smoldering on the skin. It starts to show its sweet, smoky, woody nuances, resinous drops. Overall, very eloquent scent. I really enjoy it. It's one of my top picks from the house. Very, very good. Next, we are moving on to autumn season. Very unusual, attention-grabbing scent. In my opinion, the most surprising in the Seasons collection. There is a lot to discover in here. Different shades of woody aroma, leathery facets, scents of hay, dry grass, bread, incense. That's a whole story in here. Sometimes such notes can lead to the resemblance of old furniture, old interior, dust, something old. But not this one. This one is still young and like natural. It is not an old barn, it's a fresh harvest inside of it. And in my opinion, it is quite a lot on a masculine spectrum. The notes here: black pepper, saffron, cinnamon leaf, barley, bran, fir balsam, incense, patchouli, birch tar. There are resinous notes, but in my opinion it doesn't smell resinous or ambery. It smells very dry, and the warmth here is dry as well. I get a little bit of cumin in the opening, but it fades very quickly, so maybe I'm confused, maybe there is no cumin, but there is this slight sweatiness in the opening. But the dry down of the scent is very, very good, even for my liking. When those notes of barley start to warm up on the skin, it feels like the bread is cooking. I start to get some sweetness, some warmth, some delicate milkiness even. Yeah, but it still smells quite a lot masculine in my opinion. And in a deep, deep dry down, I'm left with the notes of pine and patchouli. Very nice, I like it. I find it very successful in its attempt to illustrate the harvest season. I imagine the golden sun, the dry air, very deep aromas around. It feels very nostalgic even. If autumn, gardening, harvesting season means something for you, that might be an emotional trigger because it carries the sense of the moment that some of us can recognize. Harvest season means something for me. When I was a teenager, I was required to help my grandparents in their summer cottage with their garden, with their potato field. I have the sense of moment of late autumn, the fading season, the end of harvesting season. One of the most unique fragrances from the house, from my experience, and it is very complex. It evolves a lot during its life on your skin. Last fragrance left in the box is Winter in Manaslu. Sorry that I ignored the geographical locations that those fragrances indicate, but I will write them on the screen. Musk deer in the pine forest, that's the concept of the fragrance. Musky, piney, clear, aromatic, fresh, woody. I hope that my words that come from my personal experience will not offend anyone, but honestly speaking, for me it smells like saliva. I cannot overcome this feeling of sourness. It's very weird, very disturbing, but it smells like aromatic sour saliva. Official notes here: peppermint, basil, star anise, clary sage, cypress, pine needles, cedarwood, sandalwood, amberette seed. There is no musk note in here, only ambrette, which is a vegetal musk technically. I love all the notes separately, but I'm not a big fan of this fragrance in general, again because of this strange sourness. I get the concept of winter, the cold snow, nature hibernating. It brings a sensation of cold, like very strong profile but silenced, like the forest under the snow. I think creators, they managed to deliver this coldness of winter through this fragrance. Looking at the notes, I was hoping to enjoy it, but it really doesn't work for me. I don't know, maybe my least favorite from the whole house. Coming back to the Loon fragrance that has the note of snow, it also has this cold sensation, aromatic sensation, but much more successful. Winter in Manaslu is definitely not my type of fragrance at all. I don't know what else to say. It's just full of beautiful aromatic notes, but altogether just absolutely doesn't work for me. I just don't like it. The whole house is very appealing to me. I like the whole concept. My nose is curious about the fragrances. My eyes really enjoy the promotional material, the website, social media. It's really very solid, beautiful concept. I love that they explore such unusual notes as snow, bread, wool, and salt, and that they offer such an unexpected, expressive olfactory vision for those notes, for those fragrances. I really enjoyed my discovery process. I'm happy that I discovered such an interesting, unusual niche brand. Good job, HIMA JOMO, and I will be waiting for their new collections. There is something to love, to discover. I'm gonna spend afternoon with a Pashm fragrance, making plans for my future fragrance content for my channel. I have some new brand reviews coming, some other creative fragrance videos, some vlogs possibly. So see you in my future videos. Goodbye.